apple juice, apple juice. Love some apple juice. Okay, welcome back. Stream time. We're going to be... What? Oh, man. My software sent me out of my Gmail account. And so now I have to sign back in so I can... let's see. So now I can see your chats, if you chat, or if you don't chat. Let me turn that back on real quick. Yes, it's me. Blah, blah, blah. Continue. Making sure it's you. I don't want to create a passkey. Well, I don't know. It's never done this to me before. That's really strange. Let me do a little test. Boop. Nope, not working. There it goes. Okay, welcome back, everybody, to another stream here. We're going to be doing some Micah notes today. I've already got most of them finished. I'm just working on key ideas. And then I'll be branching out into some other areas of Micah. Possibly even... did I already read Micah? I think I already read Micah in this edition. Let's see. Yes, I've already read Micah. Okay. Possibly even getting it a little bit into the next minor prophet, who I actually don't remember who it was that we're doing next. Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, perhaps? So, alright, let's hop into it. Coming Kingdom of God. So we're going to be looking at the coming Kingdom of God in Micah in this lesson. We've already done Babylonian exile as a major theme. We already have the demand for social justice as a major theme in Micah. Specifically, I dealt with some of the land promises and things like that, but there's a lot more than that in Micah, of course. And then we're going to be looking at the coming Kingdom of God in Micah. So let me go ahead and open back up my outlines, and let's see if we can get any of this in there. Key passages. La da 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 da. Sinfulness of Samaria. Samaria falls to Syria. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here we go. So we're looking at Micah chapter... Is it Micah chapter 4? Why do I not see that on my thing? That's really strange. Oh well. We'll find it this way. Micah chapter 4. I'm pretty sure is where we're going. Yeah, no, okay, I should have just gone off of my instincts. Okay. Micah chapter 4, and how many verses is it there? It's verses 1 through 4, I think. Let's see. Isaiah 2, 2 through 4, and Micah 4, 1 through 3. Okay, perfect. So, Micah chapter 4, verses 1 through 3 is the same passage as Isaiah chapter 2. And so, we're going to put that in there. Micah 4, verses 1 through 3 shares a, let's see, contains the same prophecy as Isaiah chapter 2, verses 2 through 4. Both passages look forward to the kingdom of heaven. As in Isaiah, Micah Micah foresees. Oops. Oh, as in Isaiah, Micah foresaw a time in which the son of David would once more reign on the throne. La da 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 da. Let me get that passage actually. Let's see. Search. I love Logos Bible software. David. We'll see if David is the one that shows up. Like I said, I read through Micah, and then I got distracted from finishing what I was supposed to be doing. Eesh. It's not going to be in there. Let's see. Jesse? Oh, wait, no, it's Bethlehem. Haha. It's coming back to me. Yes. Micah chapter 5, verses 1 through 6. Yeah, let's just take a look at that. Okay, but you, Bethlehem, who are one of the little clans of Judah, from you shall come forth one from me who is to rule in Israel. Yes. So Micah chapter 5 and verse 2, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. See Micah chapter 5 and verse 2. In Micah 4, the kingdom is depicted as a temple to which all nations to which all nations. What's the exact language here? Okay. In Micah 4, the kingdom is depicted as a temple to which all nations would go and worship the God of Israel. This universal worship of God would lead to peace. Let's see. Would lead to peace and the subsequent destruction of weapons. Their swords will be turned into plowshares and the spears into pruning hooks. Yes. Let's see. Closely related to the theme of the kingdom of God is the theme of restoration. Israel's ultimate restoration would be realized in the kingdom of heaven. Let's see if I already have Isaiah 7 or Micah 7 in there. I think I do in the introduction, but there can be some overlap between, because repetition is the best way to do things. Yes, Micah 7 and verse 14 through 20. Micah 7 verses 14 through 20. Expresses the prophet's confidence that God would be faithful to Abraham. There we go. And there we go. There is some major themes in the book of Micah. That's fairly easy. Now let's see what else we have here. Modern application. It's going to be a good one. Now we need to do the key passages. This one might be a little bit more difficult, but you'll see what I have, if I have any key passages outlined here. Okay. So, I don't want to just parrot exactly what I did in this up here. So, I might actually not do a third and fourth page of Micah. No, that doesn't seem quite right. Do you already have literary genres there? Yeah, questions for reflection. It's something I could do. Alright, let's just come up with some categories. I'm thinking I don't need to do this because I have so many key passages already in these first two sections that I don't think it's exactly necessary. I would be doing a lot of repetition, whereas this was more unique information. So I don't think I'm going to do a full handout for Micah like I did some of these others, and that's okay. That's part of it. So that means we will consider Micah finished. And there we go. Pretty easy. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to work on that for way longer. Of course, I also thought I was going to do another extra few pages. All right, let's go to our outlines, look at our syllabus, and see what's next. So we have, Amos, Hosea, Amos, and Micah. Next is Nahum, Habakkuk, and Zephaniah. So it looks like our cutoff for more than 2 pages is about 9 chapters. So we'll probably only do what's it called? 4 pages for Zechariah. I think everything else is going to fit on 2 pages. Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Malachi, Joel, Obadiah, and Jonah. Yeah, all this will fit on the 2 pages. That's actually pretty good. Okay, let's move on to Nahum. And we need to go ahead and read through the book. This is what we'll do first. And then we'll worry about reading our resources. An oracle concerning Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum of Elkosh. A jealous and avenging God. Oh wait, so this is concerning Nineveh, so we need to go ahead and put this in blue. Make sure that we're in the right notebook. Yes. A jealous and avenging God is the Lord. The Lord is avenging and wrathful. The Lord takes vengeance on his adversaries and prolongs it against his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger, but great in power. The Lord will by no means clear the guilty. I feel like this is... Wait a minute. This is a refrain from somewhere. Hang on a second. No means clear the guilty. Where do I recognize this from? Apparently in one verse. Okay, whatever. I must have read it recently. Alright. His way is in the whirlwind and storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebukes the sea and makes it dry, and he dries up all the rivers. Bashan and Carmel wither, and the bloom of Lebanon fades. The mountains quake before him, and the hills melt. The earth heaves before him, the world and all who live it. The word heave there means to surge, to carry, to lift, to raise, to bring, to take. Okay. Who can stand before his indignation? Who can endure the heat of his anger? His wrath is poured out like fire, and by him the rocks are broken in pieces. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He protects those... What did I just do? He protects those who take refuge in him. Even in a rushing flood, he'll make a full end of his adversaries. He'll pursue his enemies in the darkness. Why do you plot against the Lord? He will make an end. No adversary will rise up twice. No adversary will rise up twice. Interesting. Like thorns, they're entangled. Like drunkards, they're drunk. They're consumed like dry straw. From you, one has gone out who plots evil against the Lord, who counsels wickedness. Thus says the Lord, though they are at full strength in many, they'll be cut off and pass away. Though I've afflicted you, I will afflict you no more. And I will now break off his yoke from you and snap the bonds that bind you. The Lord has commanded concerning you, your name shall be perpetuated no longer. From the house of your gods I will cut off the carved image and the cast image. I'll prepare your grave, for you are worthless. Oh wait, I have fact book on. No wonder things are popping up weird. Look on the mountains, the feet of one who brings good tidings, who proclaims peace. Celebrate your festivals, O Judah. Fulfill your vows. For never again shall the wicked invade you, for they are utterly cut off. All right, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So we have all these references. Okay, just going to point out my thoughts here so far. All right, obviously we have hyperbolic language here. The mountains quake before him, the hills melt, the earth heaves before him, the world and all who live in it. Because obviously, when Nineveh falls, that's not exactly what happens, right? Also, no adversary will rise up twice. I just think about the resurgence of Egypt several times throughout Israel's history, right? And then this passage here, though I've afflicted you, I'll afflict you no more. Of course, they go into Babylonian captivity. And then here, for never again shall the wicked invade you. I think of Babylon and Greece, and I think of Rome. So I think, obviously, what we have here is a prophetic oracle against Nineveh, as the very first verse says. And we shouldn't take the language in this passage to be like universal language for all time, because there's obvious things in here that have that wouldn't be true if that were the case. Does that make sense? Like Babylon and etc. Right? Okay. The scatterer has come against you. Guard the ramparts. Watch the road. Gird your loins. Collect all your strength. For the Lord is restoring the majesty of Jacob as well as the majesty of Israel. The ravagers have ravaged them and ruined their branches. The shields of his warriors are red. His soldiers are clothed in crimson. The metal on the chariot flashes on the day when he musters them. The chargers prance. The chariots race madly through the streets. They rush to and fro through the squares. Their appearance is like torches. They dart like lightning. He calls his officers. They stumble as they come forward. They hasten to the wall, and the screen is set up. The river gates are open. The palace trembles. It is decreed that the city be exiled. Its slave women led away, moaning like doves and beating their breasts. Nineveh is like a pool whose waters run away. Halt, halt, but no one turns back. Plunder the silver, plunder the gold. There is no end of treasure, an abundance of every precious thing. Devastation, desolation, and destruction. That sounds like a metal lyric, you know? Can you imagine like the drums and the double bass pedals and the hardy guitar riffs? Devastation, desolation, and then destruction. Like the alliteration there's interesting. Hearts faint, knees tremble, loins quake, all faces grow pale. What becomes of the lion's den? The cave of the young lions, where the lion goes, and the lion's cub with no one to disturb them. The lion is torn enough for his whelps, and strangled prey for his lioness. He has filled his caves with prey, and his den with torn flesh. See, I'm against you, says the Lord of hosts, and I'll burn your chariots in smoke, and the sword shall devour your young lions, and I'll cut off your prey from the earth, and the voice of your messenger shall be heard no more. Woe, city of bloodshed! Utterly deceitful, full of plunder, no end to the prey. The crack of whip and rumble of wheel, galloping horse and bounding chariot. Horsemen charging, flashing sword and glittering spear, piles of dead heads of corpses, dead bodies without end. They stumble over the bodies. Because of the countless debaucheries of the prostitute, gracefully alluring mystery of sorcery, who enslaves nations through her debaucheries and peoples through her sorcery. I'm against you, says the Lord of hosts. I will lift up your skirts over your face. I will let the nations look on your nakedness and the kingdom on your shame. I will throw filth at you and treat you with contempt and make you a spectacle. Then all who see you will shrink from you and say, Nineveh is devastated. Who will bemoan her? Where shall I seek comforters for you? Are you better? Hang on a second. My brain is...
No.
That didn't help anything at all. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's see. Wait, how do I do this?
Are you better than Thebes?
Yeah, Thebes. Okay, that's pretty easy. That's set by the Nile with water around her, a rampart, her rampart of sea, water her wall. Cush was her strength, Egypt too, and that without limit. Let me just do this.
Cush was her strength.
Okay, I'm good.
Egypt, too, and that without limit. Put and the Libyans were her helpers.
Sweet. Yet she became an exile. She went into captivity. Even her infants were dashed in pieces at the head of every street. Lots were cast for her nobles. All her dignitaries were bound in fetters. You also will be drunken, and you will go into hiding. You will seek a refuge from the enemy. All your fortresses are like fig trees with first ripe figs. If they shake, they fall into the mouth of the eater. Look at your troops. There are women in your midst. The gates of your land are wide open to your foes. Fire has devoured the bars of your gates. Draw water for the siege. Strengthen your forts. Trample the clay. Tread the mortar. Take hold of the brick mold. There the fire will devour you. The sword will cut you off. It will devour you like the locust. Multiply yourselves like the locust. Multiply like the grasshopper. You increased your merchants more than the stars of the heavens. The locust sheds its skin and flies away. Your guards are like grasshoppers. Your scribes like swarms of locusts settling on the fences on a cold day. When the sun rises, they fly away. No one knows where they have gone. Your shepherds are asleep, O king of Assyria. Your nobles slumber. Your people are scattered to the mountains, and no one to gather them. There's no assuaging your hurt. Your wound is mortal. All who hear the news about you clap their hands over you, for who has ever escaped your endless cruelty? Whew! What a book. What a book. Nahum does not like Assyria. Okay. Introduction to the Prophets. Let's do it. Is this Reddit? Yes, it is. Okay, let's go to From Judgment to Hope first. Oh, wait. Wait a second. An initial ordering. That's interesting. Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah. Does he not? Oh, he doesn't cover these. Haggai, Zechariah. He doesn't. Wait. 3 prophets from the Persian period. Haggai, Zechariah. But where's Malachi? Oh, there's Malachi. Malachi's not in the table of contents. How about that? That's really weird. Okay. So I guess we don't get a full thing from Walter Brueggemann on the prophets. That's okay. The prophet anticipates the impending defeat of Assyria at the hands of Babylon, which occurred decisively in 612 when the Assyrian capital of Nineveh was destroyed. Nahum's punitive tone should be understood in light of the heavy suffering inflicted by tyrannical Assyrian emperors. Assyria's downfall surely looked like divine justice to Nahum, who celebrated this turn of events as comfort for Judah. We're just going to copy that whole thing right there. Oh, wait, we got to, before we do that. Wait, nope. We have to make ourselves a copy of this. Delete. Try again. Oh, wait. Nope. Sorry. Delete. Okay. Rename this to 05 Nahum. Boom. Now, let's do it this way. Nahum, data composition. So we have, let me put this over here. Open that back up. We have 663 to 612 BC. And then we're just going to copy this part, I think. I have to recopy it anyways because of the... Okay, that's frustrating. There we go. The audience is Judah. Oh, well, it's for Judah, not to Judah, right? And in the situation, we'll copy that in the situation. There we go. Hey, look at that. Wait a second. He put a... Oh, wait. Never mind. That's the correct thing. Okay. I've got that in there now. All right. Well, that was pretty easy. 663 through 612. Hang on. Following is a summary by Patricia K. Told of the 15 prophetic books in the Bible. They're listed roughly in chronological order from the oldest to the most recent. And then, okay, gotcha. All right. And then she puts Joel, Obadiah, and Jonah all in the same kind of thing. Got it. Okay, sorry about this. It might be a little scattered to you, but we're doing okay. Let's do it. Chapter 12. Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah. This is the book by Paul L. Reddit, Introduction to the Prophets. The third group of prophetic collections in the Book of the 12 is the trio of Nahum, Habakkuk, and Zephaniah. Nahum addresses Judah, condemning the hated enemy Assyria. Habakkuk and Zephaniah, though, have Babylon in view. Habakkuk deplores sin in Jerusalem, and Judah anticipates the coming of Babylon. Zephaniah calls upon Jerusalem and Judah to repent, thereby avoiding the punishment they deserved. We shall investigate this plot more thoroughly. We, though, shall not investigate this plot more thoroughly, because we're going to go read, let's see, that's page 285, and that's page 285. Okay, it's one page. Whatever, let's read it. Micah ends on an upbeat. Much of the collection threatens Judah with punishment for the sins of its leaders. But Micah 7, 8 through 20 foresees a new day. The enemies of God and Judah would fall because God is peerless, pardoning iniquity and forgiving transgressions. Nahum opens on the note that Yahweh is a jealous and avenging God, followed by citations from and allusions to the same Exodus passage, with the comments that God is slow to anger, but great in power, one who will by no means clear the guilty. Wait a second. Ah, that's it. Wait a second. By no means clear the guilty. You know what? I bet I had that restricted. Look at that. Numbers 14, 18. Wait, let's do the passages. Oh. By no means clearing the guilty. It didn't do a full search. Numbers 14, 19. Exodus 34, verse 7. Nahum 1, 3. Look at that. I knew that seemed familiar. That was mighty rude of Logos Bible Software for not showing me that. These verses link Micah and Nahum by means of applications of God's self-description to Moses on Mount Sinai. Micah speaks of the Assyrian threat in his own day, a threat which came to pass, but which the concluding verses promised God would overcome. The same God would act again. Nahum, Habakkuk, and Zephaniah developed the motif of punishment to restoration, beginning with Nahum's angry pronouncement of God's judgment on Nineveh, followed by Habakkuk's promise of the punishment of Babylon as well as Judah, and Zephaniah's depiction of widespread cataclysm. The plot of these three collections does not stop there, however, but ends with an idyllic picture of a new day. Zephaniah 3, 8 through 20. Okay, let's do it. Nahum is vindicative. No doubt he thought he had cause to be, but he is vindicative. He describes with glee the future destruction of Nineveh, the capital city of Assyria, and portrays it as a woman whose skirt God would lift over her head so the nations could see her nakedness, and at whom God would throw filth. What? Sorry, I don't know why I laughed. That's just like the way that he described it was, I don't know. What would cause a prophet to use such intemperate language? The short answer is hundreds of years of subjection to Assyria. Bloop. Our study of Nahum will explain these dynamics further. Introduction to the collection and its time. The place of the collection in the canon. Nahum is the 7th collection in the Book of the 12. In the Masoretic text, Nahum follows Micah. How does he pronounce Nahum?
Nahum is the 7th
Nahum. I think I'm going to say Nahum. Yeah. In the Masoretic text, Nahum follows Micah, and as already shown, begins where Micah left off, with Yahweh's self-description to Moses on Mount Sinai. That juxtaposition is nearly as obvious as the repetition of Joel 3:16, 7 verses later in Amos 1:2. It appears then that during the growth of the 12, someone tied Micah and Nahum together with quotations from Exodus 34, 6 through 7. And if you're listening to this, we assume that this is the Holy Spirit that did this in our class. In the Septuagint, however, Nahum follows Joel, Obadiah, and Jonah. That placement has the advantage of juxtaposing two collections dealing with the fall of Nineveh, Jonah, then Nahum, and makes starker the difference in perspective between the two. In Jonah, the prophet preaches to Nineveh at God's behest, and the inhabitants of the city repent. In Nahum, the prophet inveighs against the city and portrays God defiling it. Like Micah 7:18, Jonah 4:2 also contains a reference to Exodus 34, 6 through 7. Interesting. I will put a yellow highlight on that. Oh no, we're not copying and pasting stuff. I need to copy and paste stuff. Let's see. What's this quote about the language? I think I put that. Let's see. Genres. I think I put that in the genres section because that could go well there. I do want to put this in there about Ezekiel 34. Yes, yes. I want to copy all this, actually. I want to put that major minor themes. And I also want to put la da 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 da. Oh, that's okay right there. Okay. Yep, I'm good. All right. What can we say about this sequence? Martin A. Sweeney argues that the Septuagint places back-to-back 4 collections, Joel, Obadiah, Jonah, and Nahum, that deal with the nations, while Hosea, Amos, and Micah concern themselves with Israel and Judah. While that observation is basically correct, the differences are not absolute. Amos begins with 6 prophecies of disaster against surrounding countries, Joel deals extensively with Judah, and Obadiah depicts a new day for Jerusalem. Finally, the closest parallels between Joel and Nahum come at the end of Nahum in the mention of locusts. Nahum, however, does not develop the theme to the degree Joel does. Sweeney's argument fails to convince because that previously mentioned connection between the end of Joel and the beginning of Amos anchors Joel to position right before Amos, not Obadiah. See the discussion of Joel in chapter 10 above. It also seems that Jonah was added to the 12 last to bring the number of prophets to 12. See the discussion of the rise of the book of 12 in chapter 9 above. It follows, therefore, I will work with the conclusion that the Masoretic text preserves the original sequence of the 12. And a bunch of this is probably stuff that we don't care too much about for our particular purpose in the Bible class, but we will read it for our own understanding. The superscription says that Nahum was from Elkosh, but its location is unknown. Okay, that's good to put. Date of composition and biographical information. There we go. It is difficult to say anything definitive about Nahum's circumstance except that he appears to have lived in Judah. Why? Okay, because of name 115. Neither the time nor the place Nahum flourished is specified in the collection, only the name of the city he invaded against, Nineveh, and the nation Assyria. However, it is possible to deduce the approximate time and general location for the prophet. All right. Well, I'm just going to put this whole thing because that'll be helpful for us in writing the introduction to Nahum. The depiction of Assyria is one of the nation in full strength, with the walled capital city, bursting with war booty from all over. Nahum looks back on the fall of the Egyptian city Thebes in Assyria in 663, and anticipates the fall of Nineveh, which occurred in 612 at the hands of the Babylonians. And that gives us our date, 663, between 663 and 612 BC. Perfection. It is difficult to say when during those 5 decades Nahum flourished, but we can try. Okay, I'm going to pronounce it, and then we're going to click the R button. Ashurbanipal? That's just...
The place Nahum flourished is specified in the collection, only the name of the city he invaded against Nineveh.
Alright, let's just wait.
3:7, and the nation Assyria, 3:18. It is possible, however,
wait, I'm not.
to deduce
Hang on. I can do better than that.
The place Nahum flourished.
Never mind. I can't do better.
Nahum.
Nope, stop it.
The place Nahum.
Nope. I was hoping that it would just help me out here, but for some reason I thought that there was a oh well. Not too worried about it. Okay. He became king of Assyria in 669 and reigned until 627. He defeated Babylon and Elam by 639, after which Assyrian records become scanty. The last Assyrian king to rule in Nineveh was him. Since Babylon rebelled soon after the ascension of Nabopolassar on the throne in 626, some might guess that Nahum flourished about then, as apparently did Jeremiah and Zephaniah. If so, Nahum may have sensed the coming change and ascribed it to the work of Yahweh. Now, we're not going to get too much into that. The structure, integrity, and authorship of the collection. Okay, James D. Nagalski distinguishes several layers in the present collection, but nevertheless finds an overarching chiastic structure. That is convincing. He argues that the initial verses, which many scholars think constitute a partial acrostic, were added to an earlier collection after the exile. The structure would look something like this. Okay, you better do this correctly. Okay, introduction 1 through 8, semi-acrostic theophany hymn, transition 1 9 through 10, post-exilic redactional connection to older text, a prime, the numerical strength of Nineveh will not deliver it from destruction, the preparation of the grave of the king of Assyria. Okay. First description of Nineveh's destruction. Second description of Nineveh's destruction. Then it folds back in on itself. The numerical strength of Nineveh will not deliver from destruction. Mocking funeral dirge at the grave of the king of Assyria. Hey, that works for me. Let's put that into our outline section, and that will be beneficial for us in the future. Uh-oh. It didn't copy that one very well, did it? Oh, wait. Oh, it does it like this. It does it backwards a little bit. Ah, man. Okay, wait. It does it backwards. It's confusing me. There we go. Alright. That should be about right. And then we'll make a space here, and we'll go back. There we go. And let's actually do this. Chiastic structure. And we'll bump all this over. Boop, like that. And then if there's another outline, we can do it that way. Okay. Nagalski notes that later accretions blend illusions and quotes from Isaiah 52 as promised to Zion and Judah. This issue of integrity has already been expressed by Nagalski's analysis. A late pre-exilic text, presumably originating during or shortly after the career of Nahum, underwent later redaction. La da 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 da. Alright. The issue of authorship is therefore muddy. It appears that someone, the prophet or someone else, wrote down the prophet's sayings concerning Nineveh, then later scribe collected them into a burgeoning precursor to the 12. Either that scribe or someone else connected to Micah. Okay. Main genres in the collection. Much of Nahum takes the form of prophecies of disaster and prophecies of salvation. Let's just go ahead and put that in there. Prophecies of disaster, prophecy of salvation. La da 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 da. Two other genres warrant attention. First mention has already been made of the semi-acrostic theonaphic hymn, which the collection begins. Hymn celebrates the mighty deeds of Yahweh, usually in retrospect. This one does so too, but in this case, in view of mighty acts by God in the future. The hymn also draws upon images of God in a whirlwind and storm and an earthquake. Contra, 1 Kings 19:11. Its subject matter is the appearance of God before God's people. Theophany. Okay. Alright, here we go. Go ahead and put that in our handy dandy notebook, as well as the second bit that he says here, which is a taunt. A taunt is a sarcastic insult designed to belittle its object. The great city of Nineveh, symbolized by den of lions, would itself fall prey to one greater than the king of Assyria. Its protectors were asleep on the job. All right. La, 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 la. All right, so this is semi-acrostic, so it's like, hang on. I wouldn't understand this. I mean, it's like Psalm 119, but he doesn't really give us any information about how it's Psalm 119, so we're not going to worry too much about that, right? Okay, as already mentioned, it's widely held that the collection opens with half an alphabetical acrostic, though the Hebrew word, through the Hebrew letter Kaf. It must be noted, however, that the superscription stands outside the acrostic and two lines intervene. Okay, the line that should open with a dalet, the fourth letter opens instead with another. Okay, in addition, a preposition stands before the word beginning with zayin, or Zion, the seventh letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Okie dokie. We're not going to worry about too much about that. No one does this by accident. It's possible that someone might author half or so and stop, but generally speaking not. So it's safe to conclude that a redactor used roughly the first half of an existing acrostic, a half that helped make his points while the rest did not. Okay, we're not going to be worried too much about that. Let's just move on. An introduction to the prophet. Hey, now we're getting somewhere. It becomes clear in the discussion of structure, integrity, and authorship that it will be difficult, if not impossible, to say much about the prophet. Even if more were known, that still would not tell us anything about the redactors or scribes who collected and edited the sayings, such as the state of contemporary scholarship. We should do our best to describe the prophet. The name of the prophet means comfort, but he brings comfort only to Judah. Obviously. He does not like the Assyrians whatsoever, does he? Boom. We'll put that under the name, because I like to include what the name means inside my introductory notes. Nothing is known about his life, private or public. Judging by what he said, he seems to have flourished during the late 6th century, perhaps around 626. The duration of his career cannot be discerned from the text at all. Nahum is sometimes called a false prophet because he predicts only good for Judah, while a genuine prophet predicts doom, based on Jeremiah 28:8. That's not... Yeah, okay, that's what he says. Basically, he says that's not really all that valid, which I agree. Nahum's focus was single-minded, to be sure, and there are problems with his vindicative spirit, but he was right to see that Assyria needed punishment. Nahum also has been called a cult prophet. The assumption behind this view is that he supported the temple and the king, the system, in other words. Perhaps that's correct. What is clear from the text, however, is that he foresaw God striking down Assyria for its sins. Basic emphasis in Nahum. The basic emphasis in the collection is the punishment of Nineveh. In vivid language, God has promised that the numerical strength and weapons of Assyria would be no match for God, who would dethrone and prepare the grave for the king of Assyria and demolish the images of the Assyrian gods. Nahum 2:3-13 describes the coming attack on Nineveh, whose walls and soldiers would be unable to prevent the fall of the city, lest anyone should miss the point. 3 verses 1-15 offers a second description of the defeat of Nineveh. Verses 16-17 emphasize that neither Nineveh's economic nor military might would protect the city. Indeed, her leaders and king were asleep on the job. Let's look at the problem raised by Nineveh. We've already noted Nahum's vindicative spirit. It is all the more obvious if we contrast it with the view of the author of Jonah. That author left the reader with a question God put to Jonah. Should not God, who made the great city of Nineveh, care about its salvation? Jonah, the character in the narrative, as opposed to its author, had not thought so, and neither did Nahum. It is easy to understand why. The Assyrians had ruled Judah more or less cruelly for 300 years. Let's put this under... okay. Put that there. Most likely there was little love for Assyria and Judah in Nahum's time. Concern for and compassion toward the enemy could have seemed out of touch with reality in late 7th century Judah. That is true, and we'll put that into our notes. We can understand that. We can also see, though, at least through the lens of the author of Jonah, that God still felt compassion towards Nineveh. What? Why did my thing not copy? There we go. We should probably conclude, therefore, that when Nahum depicted God's lifting the skirt of Mother Nineveh, exposing her naked for all to see, and God throwing filth at her, we are really reading the prophet's understandable hatred for the people's enemy. That sentiment, however, did not go unchecked in the 12. It is in its canonical arrangement, we see a truth in Jonah that Nahum did not mention and perhaps did not and could not see. That truth is that God's mercy extends to Assyria. Interesting. I'm going to put that in there too. All right. If subsequently Nineveh sinned and was destroyed, as Micah and Nahum anticipated, that was the city's own fault, not God's. We should also note Nahum's sexist depiction of Nineveh as a woman demeaned and shamed by God, yet that motif is less developed in Nahum than the lengthy description of the disaster that would fall upon the male soldiers. The greater problem in this collection is Nahum's vindictiveness. Okay, interesting. Interesting. One thing I'm getting from this is that there's not a lot to go off of. Yeah. We are going to copy and paste the one from Micah because it is shorter and probably more aligned with our needs in this particular instance. So let's go 05 Nahum. You know, I'm thinking I need to change the outlines. I'm just gonna put an O beside these. Yeah, let's just do an O. There we go. So I can know that these are the outlines. An O for outline. I bet you can run a script where you take the file name and add this to the end of it. That's okay. An O for outline. Aha! Close it first. Then do the O. Then open it. And then open back up the handout. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Micah number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes sense. Nahum number 5. There we go. Nahum. Oh, I just realized something we need to do about Micah. Let's open Micah up. Let's see how many lies are in here. How many lies are in here. So we have outline, yes. Introduction, yes. Major themes, yes. New Testament use of the Old Testament. Literary genres, yes. Modern application, key passages, questions for reflection. No, we did not do that in Micah. Micah did not get the full treatment. And most likely, Nahum is likewise not going to get the full treatment. Because Nahum is 3 chapters long. And books that are 3 chapters long are hard to capture than the longer books. Hey. Okay, there's old Nahum. And then here is this. Yay. Okay. So the best way to do this probably is just to go Control F. What? Find and replace. Find Micah, replace with Nahum, and replace all. Boop. Yay. That was easy. Alright. Now we need to do the outline. Let's just do the outline first, because that seems to be the thing that is most straightforward. So, let's see. Well, let's do this. Whoop. Nope. I'm going to put this in white lettering. Actually, let me do this. I forget that I have to go through and make these colors pop up. But I want to keep it consistent. And I'm guessing that's just white then. Okay. Nahum is organized chiastically. Did I spell this right? Kai. Astic. Ali. Sure. That means that you can fold Nahum in half and find common themes. Let's see, and find. Let's see, and the themes will be similar at each. Let's see. What am I even trying to say? That means that you can fold Nahum in half, and the themes will be similar at each intersection. We'll just say like that. That's like the best way that I can put it, I think. Yeah, it's like you fold it over on itself, and at each place the page meets, it's like the same theme. So that probably would be a decent way to put it. Okay, so let's do it. So first we have Nahum chapter 1, verses 1 through 8, and we'll put a introduction and semi-acrostic theophany hymn, which I'm sure every member is going to do that, is going to understand that. That is a song about God. Let's see, a song about God's power, in which each verse starts with a subsequent letter of the alphabet. The Psalm 119. There we go. Hey, what else? What else am I supposed to do there, right? Nahum chapter 1, verses 9 through 10. We'll call this... Oh, wait. Let me actually look and see what it says, because I've got some stuff that ain't gonna fly in class. Why do you plot against the Lord? He'll make an end. The adversary will rise up twice. Like thorns they are entangled, like drunkards they are drunk. For they are consumed like dry straw. So let's just... Wait, what? Through what passage? Man, sometimes these commentaries give verse breaks that don't line up with what you think they should be. So let's look at this. Do you have an outline, my good sir? Yes, you do. The Psalm of Nahum. Ah, yes, and here's the A's and the B's and the C's. Okay. We'll change this to verse 10, like this one does. Delete this one as being insufficient for our purposes. And we will call this A. Actually, maybe the... I have to do a superscription. This is getting out of hand. I forgot to do superscriptions because I've been out of school for too long. Where is it? There it is. Boop. No. A to the first power. Wait. There we go. Tell you what. Being a preacher is hard. You gotta know how to do superscripts for chiasms. Nahum chapter 1, verses 11 through 12a. And then we'll put, the numerical strength of Nineveh will not deliver from destruction. The numerical strength of Nineveh will not deliver it from destruction. And then we got to back this up and do this the right way too. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Uh-oh. Aha. Oh, it's just 2. No, it's just 3. I'm so confused at my own formatting. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. That's A to the first. Delete all this other stuff because apparently this is all just useless. One, two, three. Hello. Hey, yep. There's Katie. Okay. Nahum chapter 1 verses, oh, just verse. Did he skip? Did he skip just a bunch of stuff? Sometimes these outlines do not match anything, and that is the most frustrating thing. What? Nahum chapter 1 verse. There's no verse 15 or what? Oh, it's 115 through. Man, I hate it when this happens. It's giving me the Hebrew verses and not the English verses for the outline, which means that the whole thing is probably just out of whack. All right, I'm just going to type in Nahum 115 and see what happens. Yep, nothing happens. Batty. 1, 2, 3. Dot. Okay, so 115 is in this section. Geez, what does this mean? Hang on a second. Now I'm all confused. You gave me an incomplete thing, you guy. English chapter 2 verses 3 through 13. Why does he do this? That is one of the most frustrating things. Okay, open up a different commentary. Which, who, all right, hang on a second. I'm a little bit on the frustrated side because of this. I don't know why they have to mess around with my, my verses here. Which, I wish that this would tell me what commentary series this was part of. Hang on a second. I'm having to do some extra work here to get my information like I want it to be. There's not a Nahum commentary in that section. Okay, that's fine. And there's not a commentary in that section either. Nahum. Okay, here we go. Don't do me wrong. Tyndall commentaries. Analysis. God's wrath personalized. God's dual verdicts. Okay. That's verses 12 through chapter 2, verse 2. Starting to think that this thing here isn't going to help me out very much. I'm going to abandon ship on the chiastic structure. I can see merits in it just from the description of it, but the fact that they didn't give me all the passages makes me kind of upset. So, I'm going to copy this and do this instead and add this to my notes. Information, copy and paste, citation, Chicago manual style, that's fine. And put this into my resources for Nahum because I don't appreciate them not giving me all the information that I was looking for. So let's just go ahead and remove Walter Brueggemann from this because he doesn't give us any new information. How much? Okay, hang on a second. Let me change the way that this is done. Oh boy. Having to take all kinds of little shortcuts here to get this the way I want it to be. Sometimes you have to do that though. Let's put David W. Baker. And we call this Nahum Habakkuk and Zephaniah. Wait, you did not spell anything correctly. Fingers. And oh no. Oh no, it doesn't do it correctly. Back that up a little bit. An introduction and commentary. And that'll be good there. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Oh well, we couldn't do what we wanted to do, but we got it a different way, thanks to Tyndall commentaries. Let us do it. Okay. So we'll copy his stuff for the introduction. For the outline, I mean. Okay, Nahum 1 verse 1. Let's see, I'm just going to say verses 1 through 8. Just call it introduction and I'll keep all this stuff in there actually just like it is because that's actually decent information. And then Nahum chapter 1 verses 9 through 11. And we'll say God's wrath personalized. I cannot spell anything anymore. Apparently, I'm just like having all kinds of trouble here. 1, 2, 3. And let's just make all this lowercase because why not? And then Nahum chapter 1 verses 12 through verse chapter through 2 verse 2. We'll call this God's dual verdicts. Salvation for salvation for Judah and for Assyria. Why not?
Because it's too quiet.
Take your shirt off and turn it on inside out and then put it back on. Here, bring it to me. I'll help you. Come here, bring it to me. I'll help you.
Daddy, I want to cut on the TV.
Let me cut on the TV.
Yeah, because
Here, I'll put this back on. This way.
it was quiet.
Okay, is it quiet right now?
Yeah.
Alexa, set TV volume to 22.
Okay.
Okay. That was easy. Alright, sorry about that. I had to take care of a crisis. God's dual verdict, salvation for Judah and for Assyria. Let's see what's next.
Five vignette of battle.
I'm not putting that. I'm not going to put it in there like that. Okay, let's see. Copy and paste this a couple times. Doop, doop, doop. And also we can take away these from, I think we can, I don't think we have to, do all this. There we go. God's dual verdict for Assyria, and then Nahum 1, this through this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, whatever. All right, and then we'll put a description of Assyria's last battle. I don't know why this thing is not liking me today. And then we'll put Nahum 1, or sorry. I'm just like having all kinds of problems. I guess I'm just tired. There we go. And then let's see. Nahum chapter 2, verses 11 through 13. We'll put this as the lion of Assyria defeated by God. And then we'll do another little copy and paste action here. And then just put the final chapter as Woe to Nineveh, as he has it here. And then we'll be finished with this part. Oh, man. A final woe to Nineveh. Hey, kids. Oh, man, the cats got in here. I've got to get those kitty cats out of here. They tear up my stuff. Okay, hang on a second. They're gonna get inside my closet and mess with things. Kitty cats. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, so I have a pretty big section here that is left with nothing. So I'm going to put another outline thing and put an alternative outline, and then copy this text here. I don't know why I did that. Whatever. Copy that text there and say, Nahum can also be seen. Let's see. Nahum can also be organized as a chiasm. That is, if you were to fold the book in half, each part would mirror the other. Let's see. And then if we wanted to put this into a short, concise thing, we could say 1:11 through 12. And I'm going to put, how do I do this? 1:11 through, I'll say 14 actually, connects with 3:16 through 19. Nahum 2, 4 through 14, with 4 up with 3, 1 through 15, and then, oh wait, and that's it, isn't it? Okay. Let me break this down a little bit further. Nahum 11 through 12 with 3, 16, and 17. Nahum 1, 14 with 3, 18 through 19. Pull this down just a little bit to make it all fit. And then I would like to make this green like the other, but I need to first pick it as a potential inside the colors to make it work. More colors. Okay. There we go. How easy is that? Easy as pie. Okay. Now, we need to write an introduction for Nahum and also determine what we're going to put in this section, because it is just not a very long book. I think we could use this, though, to talk about how the Bible writes commentary on itself, like how Nahum and Jonah are kind of the opposite ends of the same spectrum. Nahum is like, kill Assyria, and Jonah is like, let's save Assyria, although Jonah himself is more of the opinion of Nahum. You know what? It is actually time for me to go and cut the grass, because it is 7 o'clock, and the sun will be setting in about 45 minutes-ish or so, and the grass needs to be cut, and it is now cool enough to do that. So I've got the outline done for Nahum. I've got the notes done. Let me go ahead and get the New Testament use of the Old Testament stuff out of Nahum. I doubt there's going to be much. Ooh, what's happening here? There you go. I doubt there's going to be much, but we'll get all we can. But there it is. La da 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 da. Ah, yes, it's basically all from Nahum 1:15. All right, that's okay. We'll put it in there anyways. New Testament use of the Old Testament. We have Acts chapter 10, verse 36. Romans chapter 10, verse 15. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 15. And Revelation chapter 6, verse 17. And counter to this, we have Nahum 1:15, and Nahum 1:15, and Nahum 1:15, and then Nahum 1:6. John is the oddball. Leave it to John to be the oddball. And then delete all this other stuff, because we don't need it anymore. We can put literary genres beneath that and include probably both taunts, not just one of the taunts. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Boop. Okie dokie, that'll be all. I'm going to go cut grass. Bye-bye. You didn't stop, did you? You're still here, aren't you?